So I was just casually walking around the brand new park which Tycoon has made in the new map, and I have to say, this thing does really look beautiful. Anyways, you guys know what this video is going to be about. Every time there's a new map, I like to cover the new Easter eggs, and this map does actually have some plenty, which do have some kind of lore behind it and some theories that we could create about it. So anyway, today I'll be showing you some new Easter eggs, and let's just jump right into it. So as you guys remember from the previous map, we used to have a shopping mall over here, and it's still actually here. All of these shops are basically named after the developers of the game. However, there is one shop in particular which was actually changed. As you guys remember from like a few months ago, it used to be called Decoy Pond. However, the name was actually changed to Shadows Hedgehogs. Now this is one of the big questions and theories that actually comes into here. What actually happened to the previous developer, and why was the shop actually changed into a brand new name? Well, you guys can leave me your theories in the comment section down below. I'll be very interested to what you have to say about it. Now the second one will be featuring mid. I'm sure a lot of you guys do really enjoy this new mid in terms of how it looks. However, it does actually have an Easter egg, which is pretty interesting. If we jump right into the water, as you guys can see, we can actually go quite deep. We're not going to talk about submarines in today's video, but what I'd like to talk about today is going to be these pipes. There's literally 4 of them, pretty much 2 on each side. And if we actually go into here, let me actually go in and let's see where these are actually going to be taking us. And where it's going to be taking us is literally going to be inside of mid. And I have to find this really interesting because I really wonder what is the real purpose of this. And I'm not really sure they took this infrastructure / design from the actual thing that they were basing this building off of. However, I do really find this quite interesting. Another thing which I do find quite interesting about it is that you guys can pretty much actually use this quite tactically, and that's going to be doing something similar to the Minecraft LMG water bucket clutch. Literally jumping into here if you guys are low on health and you just need to get out of a very stupid scenario. I do really find this interesting, and I'm really wondering, is there much more to this? But I do believe that this can be quite useful and handful for you guys, because imagine you can actually backstab somebody who's just fighting in, I guess, this specific area, and you just go out of the water and you kill them from the back. I do still find this really cool, and I think that they should definitely be doing a lot more things like this in the current map. Now the next one we're actually going to be taking a look at is going to be the fully redesigned hospital, and what I will actually going to be talking about is going to be the very weird design that this hospital has actually took. I don't know if this is an Easter egg, I don't know if it's trying to tell us something, but don't you guys think that this basically orange block really does look out of place? I don't know if this is the design of the hospital. Do let me know in the comment section down below, but once again, this is quite interesting. I really don't know what this is based off. However, I do believe it to be a little bit of an Easter egg, because questions are always being asked about this, if this is actually planned and did they put this into the game on purpose. Now the next one over here, which I was able to find when I was just casually looking under the map, was a little bridge which was actually just here for absolutely no reason. I have no idea what this is for. I don't know why they kept this under here. However, this bridge doesn't also have any collisions, which is pretty weird. Like, have a look at this. When I just get out of fly, it just sends me down straight away. And then with this, we are also unable to shoot it and break it. I do find this quite interesting. And then with this next set, we also have a room which I was able to show you guys a few months ago, and basically just tells you guys this message. But I'm not gonna go into much detail of this because I don't find it to be too particularly interesting. Now just a quick rewind for where the Sandcross badge is actually located, because it does still belong in the game. However, I believe the place has slightly changed to where it was in the older map. As you guys can see, you still have exactly the same location, which I believe it was edited just a little bit. We have 2 extra rocks in here, which seems a little bit out of place, but whatever. And we can just basically enter here, literally near these rocks, which I'm showing you guys around. Now with this, we also have an older Easter egg, which has also stayed. And this Easter egg is obviously going to be about the Cosmic Cube, or whatever you call this, the big lore of Tycoon. It still, I don't think, does anything when we actually press onto it. Let me just quickly hold over this, and as far as I know, nothing really changes. Okay, so it basically turns red, and other than this, there is pretty much nothing else that happens, and then it just turns back to the pink color which it previously had. There isn't really much more to say about this. However, the most important Easter egg of this map, which a lot of people are talking about, I'm gonna be showing you just right now. Now the next one over here I'm going to be naming as the Farlands. It's basically a bunch of mountains which are in the background of the map, and you're not able to access it unless you're going to be moving into fly, and I do actually find this very cool. And the big question is, did this map actually move remove locations from the previous one, because in the previous map we did not have this. However, in the current one we actually do. Now the bigger question that we have over here is, does this actually have collisions? Well, let's go ahead and check that out, but I do believe that it's going to be a no. But let's go ahead and just get out of fly and see if I'm actually going to end up doing anything. Nope, it just puts me right through the map. So it basically is just here probably to make the map look a lot cooler. However, I do hope that there's going to be some lore about it at some point. But I do believe the developers probably just added this for cosmetic reasons and there's nothing more to it. Anyway, there are some glitches and bugs which I'd like to show you guys in the new map as well, because there are some which are pretty interesting, and I think they're probably going to be patched next week, so it will be worth it to show them to you. Now the first very interesting glitch, which is going to be located right in the sniper room. This one is very weird and I really don't understand how it works, but if you guys do go into this place and you basically try to move right here, what it's going to be basically doing is it's going to be turning you into basically like a swimming mode. So from now on we are unable to use any of our weapons and we basically start swimming, really. It's very weird and I don't really understand how this works. It's probably because there's some kind of water there in the background which we're unable to see. And the worst part is, even if I reset, it's basically turning me into a mode where I'm basically walking and I'm unable to even equip my weapons. So I'm only able to really get out of this when I freaking leave the game, which really does suck because it forces you into a spot where you're just unable to do anything. So it pretty much just soft locks your game in a sense because you're unable to fight anymore, and I really don't know how to get around this unless you're going to be leaving the game. Now the next bug which I actually have to show to you guys is going to be a little bit more niche. However, I would like you guys to actually remember this if you're playing PvP because it might be quite important. As you guys remember, the airports basically used to heal your planes whenever you land there. However, with this new one which they have added over here, you are basically unable to heal here anymore, which is kind of weird. I hope that this is going to be fixed. However, if you do move into the deserted island or whatever you would like to call it, you're actually going to be able to heal all over again. I do find this kind of interesting. This really does tell me that the developers were really running quite low on time while making this update. It's definitely pretty easy to lose track once you have so many things to do at once, so I'm definitely understanding the developers here. I just hope that this is going to be getting fixed in the next update. However, once again, in terms of the ship docks, there's also another bug which I found. Okay, well, in the meantime, I also found something else while I was landing my F-35. Let's just not talk about this. So another bug which I have to showcase for you guys once you're PvPing, which is going to be important to remember, is that in your base ship dock, you used to always be able to heal your hovercraft at some point. However, now with this brand new update, you're only really going to be able to heal your ships and not your hovercraft. Now, the last bug, which in my opinion is probably the worst one out of all of them, and that's going to be the fact that if you do turn on the shield, you guys are still not going to be safe, because as you guys can see, there's literally no shield around me. And this will be meaning that I literally can get attacked inside of my own base when my shield is on. I do find this quite annoying because this really does ruin the PvP for a lot of people who are trying to defend their base. But yeah, for the time being, that's pretty much going to be everything I have for you guys in today's video. If you guys are watching this video late, then most of these bugs are probably resolved. However, most of the Easter eggs are probably still staying here, and they will probably be adding plenty in the upcoming months. At least I do hope that. Anyway, I'll see you guys next video. Do let me know in the comment section down below if you're able to notice anything else about the brand new map, which I was not able to see. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and thanks so much to my channel members.